Hey, it's Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady, here with your tax lien investing tip for this week. Now, I won't be here next week because I will be traveling, but I will be back in 2 weeks. Your tax lien investing tip today is about the online tax lien sales. Now, last week we talked about bidding at the Florida sales. The week before that, we talked about bidding in the Maryland sales. Now, both of these sales are online. Maryland does have some live sales yet, but a lot of their counties are online. Florida, all of their counties are online now for tax lien sales. So how do you find out about these sales? How do you buy tax liens in these online sales? Well, so the first thing is, where are these sales? Well, the Florida sales, most of them are on one of two online platforms. And these are the tax lien sales now we're talking about, guys. So, okay. So one of them, the most popular, is probably realauction.com. There we go. All right. So that's the most popular, and you'll find some of the Florida counties on realauction.com. Now, Real Auction does foreclosures, tax deed sales, and tax lien sales, and Florida TDAs. See, in Florida, after the 2-year redemption period is over, unlike other states, you don't actually foreclose on the lien. You do a tax deed application. Okay. So, and the counties that are on Real Auction, you could do that tax deed application right on Real Auction. Okay. So when you go to realauction.com, it's a little bit tricky to navigate to get to the right sales. You want to go to the tax lien sales. So when you first go there, you go to, there's a menu up in the top right, and you want to go to client or client sites, because Real Auction's clients are the counties. All right, so you want to go to, it says either clients or client sites. You want to go there, and then it's going to default to the foreclosure and tax deed auctions. You want to click on the tax lien auctions. You're going to have to click on that, and then you can filter it by the state that you're looking for, and even by the county that you're looking for. All right, because Real Auction does Arizona, which are over now. They do Colorado, they do New Jersey, they do, and they do a couple of other counties. There's a couple of states that only have one county that's online, like Douglas County, Nebraska, and Nassau County, New York. They do those, and they do Maryland as well. Some of the Maryland counties are also on Real Auction. Okay. Now, the other website that does a lot of the Florida tax lien auctions is Lien Hub. Now, Lien Hub is powered by Grant Street. That's lienhub.com. And Lien Hub and Real Auction are two of the oldest online bidding platforms. So the Florida counties, most of the Florida counties that are not on realauction.com, you'll find, especially the bigger ones, you'll find them on lienhub.com. Now, there's a different registration and bidding procedure on each of these platforms. All right, the registration procedure is similar. Basically, you have to agree to a lot of stuff and fill out your W-9 form. And then, but the bidding can be different on the different platforms. It can be different. But these are the two places where you can find these tax sales, especially the Florida tax sales. And then you have to register, and you will have to put in a deposit. And the deposit is 10% of your budget. You will need to have all the money in your account for your budget. So let's say and some of these counties, by the way, will have a minimum deposit, And again, they take that to be 10% of your budget, and they will let you bid up till your budget. You've got to have that money in there. All right, because some of these counties, you'll have to do a wire transfer and that same day that the sale is over. Okay. Other of these counties will take it by ACH debit right out of your account, and they will let you bid up to your budget. So don't make this mistake. I had somebody that I talked to didn't realize that that deposit was 10% of her budget, and she thought that that deposit was all she was going to spend in the tax sale. So she put, it wasn't in one of the Florida tax sales, it was a different state, but they also did, they were also on real auction, and they also did the same thing. You had to put, and it was a minimum of $1,000 deposit. So you had to have a minimum of $10,000. Now she put a $2,000 deposit in, thinking that she was going to bid to $2,000, not realizing that they were going to take that to mean that she had a budget of $20,000 and let her bid up until $20,000. Now she was probably thinking, well, I'm only going to bid to $2,000, but that's not the way to bid at these tax sales. You really won't get anything that way because they are competitive. You've got to bid on as many tax liens as you're willing to get, and you don't know which ones you're going to get. So you just bid on all the ones that you'd be happy with if you got them. And the auction will, the auction platform will cut you off when you reach your budget. Okay. All right. So those are the Florida auctions. And also, if there's any New Jersey auctions going on, Maryland auctions, you'll see them on realauction.com. But what about the Indiana auctions? And also coming up and going on now are the Alabama auctions and Louisiana online tax lien sales. Now, really don't recommend Louisiana because they bid down the percent ownership of the property, but you'll find the Louisiana tax sales on civicsource.com. This is where you're going to find most of the Louisiana tax sales. And you'll also find a couple of the Tennessee redeemable deed sales that are online on CivicSource. And you might find, now CivicSource started out just in Louisiana, doing the Louisiana deed sales and lien sales. And then what these companies do is they branch out and they try to get more work from other states. They try to get more counties. So CivicSource does have a couple of Tennessee counties for the redeemable deed sales. But today, I just really want to talk about the tax lien sales that are coming up online. And now also there's, I don't know if there's any Indiana online sales left, but when the Indiana sales do come up online, those are on ZeusAuction.com. Whoops, I got to spell it right. It's Zeus Auction. Okay, .com. Oops, getting ahead of myself here. It's ZeusAuction.com. Okay, so ZeusAuction.com is powered by SRI Auctions, and they did all of the Indiana tax sales. And Zeus Auction was the platform for their online Indiana sales. And they also now do some Colorado sales, some at least one county in Missouri. And what else do they do? Or actually it might be CivicSource that does one county in Missouri. See, the thing is that these sites, they might start with one state and then they want more business. So they go out to other counties and other states and try to get their business. So Zeus Auction does, by the way, some of the Iowa sales, but then you've got the new kid on the block, the newest online these are the major online platforms. The newest one is govease.com. Now, govease.com does all of the Mississippi tax lien sales. There'll be more in August. They happen, some of the Mississippi counties do it in April, and most of them do it in August. So in April and August are the 2 months for those sales. You'll see them on GovEase. GovEase does all of the Alabama tax lien sales that are online. They also do like one of the Arizona counties and one of the Colorado counties. Or no, they do a few of the Colorado counties. They do one of the Indiana counties. Okay, so Cochise County, Arizona, that's the only one on GovEase. All the other Arizona counties are going to be on realauction.com. Now, Arizona already happened this year. They're in February. But right now, what's going on GovEase are the Alabama sales. And they also do, we talked about redeemable deed sales in Tennessee when we talked about Civic Source. GovEase also does the Tennessee sales. So that is where you find the online tax lien sales. All right, these are, and each of these platforms has a different procedure, okay, both for registering and for bidding at the sale. And each of the states, of course, have different rules. But even if the same state is on has counties that are on two different platforms, the bidding might be different on those two different platforms. So make sure that you understand the bidding rules and bidding procedures, okay? And as far as the registration goes, the registration can be very different. On GovEase, you have to register with GovEase for most of these counties, and then you also have to register with the county. All right, and you have to upload documents. All right, Zeus Auction, you have to register with the Zeus Auction, and then you wait for approval from the county, but you don't have to register separately with the county. You don't have to contact the county and register with them. Zeus Auction makes that easy. And you just wait for the county. The county gets your information and will approve you right on Zeus Auction. All right. Some of these counties are gonna, and on all of these platforms, some counties will ask for a deposit and some won't. All right, so that is your tax lien investing tip for today. Let me know what you want to find out about, what you want me to teach about for my next tax lien investing tip, which, by the way, will be in 2 weeks. Now, one of the things that I want to tell you is if you want to find out more about how to make money with not only tax liens, but other tax delinquent methods for investing in tax delinquent properties, like overages, which is something I don't do. We had a conference last year. It was a very popular conference. It was a one-day conference with 6 speakers, including myself. And we had speakers who spoke on different topics when it comes to investing and making money with tax delinquent properties. We had an expert on deeds and overages. We had an expert on data and analysis of tax delinquent properties, tools and resources to make your due diligence easier, and the best way to clear the title, the fastest way to clear the title on your tax foreclosed properties, as well as me talking about tax deed investing and also other ways to invest in, me talking about tax lien investing and other ways to invest in tax liens without doing it yourself, without going to the tax sale. Things that you've probably never heard of before. So this was our second annual tax lien investing conference that we did this time last year. It was on Cinco de Mayo last year. So this year, and what I normally do when I do these live conferences, live virtual events, is after the fact, I make them available for purchase. But I didn't do that in this case. I only made the VIP tickets to access all the replays available until the end of the conference, and then I didn't make it available anymore. Usually I double the price and make it available, but I didn't do that. So now this year for Cinco de Mayo, I am making it available, all the recordings of all the speakers and the bonuses that they gave out. Some of our speakers gave away some free stuff. So all that's available at the same price that we had the VIP access for last year. So it's $47 for the 6 recordings and bonuses. And one of the things that that I gave away was access to a webinar and to it was either a masterclass or a challenge. Well, guess what? I'm going to have another masterclass. It's a paid masterclass. It's not free, but I will have like a really deep discount as one of my gifts, and also access to the webinar that we're doing. And actually, I'll give everybody access to this Tax Sales Success Basics webinar that we'll be doing May 18th. I don't even have the registration for you yet, but keep your eyes open because our newsletter comes out next Tuesday and we'll have the information for you there. All right, so I will see you guys in 2 weeks. I won't be here next week because I'll be traveling, but in 2 weeks, I'll be back here with another tax lien investing tip. Let me know what you want a real short training on, and I will work it in. Okay, bye. Have a great week. Actually, have a great 2 weeks.